Hi friends, Dr. Ramadevi Papalu here, fertility specialist. Today I am going to talk about sperm donation. In the beginning, when I started practice, I never thought people will accept donations. But one day, in the very my beginning days, one lady from very remote village, she came and asked me, the animals will get pregnancy by injection. That kind of an injection I want. I really got surprised. Actually, this sperm donation has come into practice, especially uh, in the animal reproduction. Because she is working in the villages, she knows animals will be inseminated, artificial insemination. That's what she meant. Then I got lot of courage. Yes, people who are in need, they accept for such things. Because somehow any human being want to have their own offspring. Because the relationship and affection and the togetherness and the satisfaction in the life people will get by having child. First marriage, then child. So since then we have been doing sperm donation regularly. Uh, Sperm donors are of two kinds, anonymous donors and known donors. Known donors will be family members. Most of the time, I don't prefer family members because afterwards, while the child is growing, they may get some feelings, there may some problems, and it becomes problem for the baby, for the donor, and as well as the parent. I always prefer anonymous donor, but while taking donation, many people will get lot many doubts. So keeping my feet into their shoes, what are the doubts? What are the fears? What characters they want in the donor? I think like that, and we try to provide the best sperm so that in the life they need not repent any time, because child is one, they need to live with the child at least till 24-25 years. So their physical appearance, their mental ability and intelligence, health, all those things are concerned when you are planning for a baby. So I think all these things on behalf of the patient. We take all the precautions. So there will not be any problem even if you need to take sperm donation. But of late, this sperm donation has come less in practice because of the invention of intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Here, even if we have sperms inside the testis, if they are not in the semen, we can even collect sperms from the testis epididymis and take that sperm, and while doing IVF, we can inject the sperm into the egg. So, with the advent of intracytoplasmic sperm injection, the rate of sperm donation has come down. But still, because intracytoplasmic sperm injection, test tube baby is not a cheap procedure, that's why those who cannot afford, without any second thought, they can go for the sperm donation. Because even if you have a baby through sperm donation, because it is like a designer baby, whatever the patient wants, we can think of those things and try to fulfill their desire. Even for this, I have one example in my practice. One lady, she is pitch dark by African. But I told her, I have a very fair donor. Do you like to have? No problem, madam. In our family, there are so many, my white people are there. I don't have any objection, but I want to have a fair looking baby. So usually those who suffer, they only know the pain. Those who don't have, they will not understand this. So because we see so many thousands and thousands of people who have got these problems, who really compromise themselves and come forward for this kind of a treatment. So of course it is now, it has become so common, nobody is taking it as a taboo. In which people the sperm donation is necessary means azoospermia, semen comes out at the time of ejaculation, but if you examine under the microscope, there will not be sperms. This is called azoospermia. And in some cases, retrograde ejaculation will be there. The sperm will fall into the bladder and they don't enter into the ejaculatory system. In those cases also we need to do sperm donation. Certain cases, congenital abnormalities, if the man is suffering with some chromosomal problem, and if there is a possibility to transmit this problem to the offspring, in those cases also we prefer to go for the sperm donation. In cases of severe oligoasthenospermia, where semen parameters are below normal and they can't afford for IVF ICSI, those cases also we can advise semen donation. And in lesbian women or single lady who wants to have a baby, they don't want to get married. In these two cases also, people need sperm donation. So, coming to the screening of the semen donors. Screening starting from the physical characters, height, weight, color of the hair, color of the eye will be noted, and physical examination, any health issues we will find out, and we even take the history whether they are taking any substance abuse or any medication for any other health problems, and the age group between 20 and 40, because younger age group the reproduction is better, quality of the semen, quantity of the semen will be better, because even though there is no age limit, clear cut-off point in the men, how long the sperm will be normal, but when we are collecting from outside, why should we compromise? Why should we take from the elderly people? So the age group will be between 21 to 40 years. And we have to screen, because since 1984, the HIV infection has come into the world. So HIV incubation period is 6 months. So when we are taking a sample, we do HIV, but that time it may be, if they are exposed recently, that time it can become negative, but afterwards it can become positive. That is why we have to collect the semen and freeze it for 6 months, the hibernation, and afterwards, after 6 months, we have to call back the donor and do the HIV again. If still the person is negative, then those samples we can use for sperm donation. All other normal communicable diseases like hepatitis C, hepatitis B, like STD infections, chlamydia, these tests also we have to do. If they have normal children, we need not do chromosomal analysis. But if the family is getting their own and they don't have children, even chromosomal analysis, it is better to do even chromosomal analysis to eliminate if there is any problem that is going to be transmitted to the genes. Once the semen is frozen and decided for semen donation, the counseling will be done to the both donor as well as the recipient, so that there should not be any problems. Once we decide for the insemination, most of the time we give medicine to the female for the ovulation induction, because any time when we are doing some procedure, the person will undergo some kind of a stress. Even though they were ovulating naturally normally, but when we start doing IUI, because of the stress, there may be a failure of ovulation. That's why instead of wasting time, once come and there is no ovulation and cancel the cycle and go for the next cycle, to become doubly confirmed that the lady is going to become to have a ovulation, we give mild stimulation to the ovary to produce 1 or 2 follicles. Usually 1 or 2 follicles are ideal for the insemination. We start the scanning 13, 14, 15, 16th day. Whenever the follicle reaches 18 to 20 millimeters, we give HCG injection, trigger injection, and we plan for the IUI after 36 hours to 40 hours of HCG injection. Sometimes we plan for 1 IUI, or sometimes we can advise 2 IUIs. So with this, the average percentage of pregnancy rate will be around 15 to 20%. even though there is no other problem in the female, the reproduction in the human being is not very high. That is why we get only 20%, and we need to repeat at least 3-4 times. Suppose if there is no pregnancy, even after 3-4 times, even though we have taken sperm donation, those cases also some people need IVF, test tube baby, if they don't conceive in the IUI. So I think I have discussed almost all points related to sperm donation. If you still have some doubts, please put in the comment section. I will respond to you. Okay, na? Thank you.